Hello epic viewers from around the multiverse, prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting Captaining Stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What items will I be unboxing? What items will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What items are encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify the answer to that inquiry right here, right now, so bear with me. It'll only take me billions of picoseconds to extract the items from the box and subsequently flaunt them in front of the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. Here we go. The unboxing process is about to commence. The unboxing process is officially underway. Now, before I further flaunt the figurines relegated to the box at the moment, I just wanted to apprise you that this is the second part of my unboxing of the DC Direct action figure lot. So if you've yet to bear witness to the first part, then you could do so at your own discretion. If you detest and disdain action figures, then you may want to desist from doing so. It's all up to you. Implement decisions based on your own volition. Don't allow anyone to persuade you or dissuade you to do anything that you're discontent with. Alrighty, so off the get-go we have this figurine. Is his moniker Johnny, who the show knows. He's definitely a DC Direct action figure or a DC Collectibles action figure. So he has one peg hole embedded in the bottom of his foot. He lacks two peg holes, so it may be more arduous to mount him to a stand. That's fine. He lacks double jointed knees. Actually, I revoked my previous statement. He actually has double jointed knees. That was an oversight. I made a blunder there. His elbows are not double jointed, so he's devoid of double jointed elbows. He lacks a diaphragm joint. His head is not relegated to a disc joint. He lacks any semblance of finger joint articulation. He lacks an ankle pivot, so his articulation is finite. He also can't really perform a waist swivel too well. Perhaps his belt encumbers his waist swivel. I mean, I don't want to fiddle, nor tamper, nor meddle with the joints too much, so we'll just leave them alone for now. He's not a bad figurine. I love his design, I love his deco, I love his hues, I love his textures, I love his sculpt, I love his intricacies, I love his novelties, I love this crimson red color. He has this metallic design, or he has these metallic paint applications. In other words, the crimson red paint applications look metallic, they look shiny. So this metallic crimson red color is aesthetically appealing. It tickles my fancy, it appeals to my niche interests. I love this figurine. His biceps are a bit flimsy. You can unequivocally tell that he lacks physical prowess, so maybe he utilizes his speed, maybe he utilizes his speed and his nimbleness and his tactfulness to subdue his adversaries. Who the show knows. I don't know who this character is. I just want to look up something real briefly. Alright, sorry about the blunder. Yeah. So maybe he's more of a strategic type. Is he villainous? Is he heroic? Is he menacing? Is he sadistic? Is he coercive? Is he malicious? Is he diabolical? I honestly do not know. I would presume that he's a villain, so perhaps he's demonic and villainous and evil and bent on ravaging his adversaries and inducing harm to his foes. Who knows? But maybe his convictions are aligned with the side of evil, so he's likely nimble, he's likely strategical, he's likely prudent, he's likely meticulous, but I don't know, I'm just making arbitrary assumptions. To be blatantly honest with you, I don't know anything about this character, but I would venture to make arbitrary assumptions based on his design. So I'm just presuming that his personality, that his convictions, that his lore follow a certain path based on his design, which is asinine to me because I'm inferring conclusions without any solid, tenable evidence as a result of being uneducated about this character. So let's just say for now that this character is an enigma and that his allegiance to good or evil is unknown from my perspective, but perhaps I will know this character's moniker in the future, and I could look up who this character is, and if I find the name, then I can insert it into the description. That way, if you want to buy this particular figurine, then you know what name to type in so that the results can be prompted that you desire on eBay. Alright, that sounded a bit uncanny. So we also have this bag. This bag was originally in the box, however, I'm unsure what it obscures, so let's find out. We have some type of spear, kind of looks like a javelin. I'm not sure this is maybe it's a staff. Is it a scepter? It seems to be more of a staff, I think. Kind of looks like a spear. See, but maybe it's deemed a staff. Who knows? Kind of looks like a spear or a javelin. I honestly do not know what it's supposed to represent nor depict. So. Alrighty, we have this unusual contraption, we have this device, so maybe it's utilized to enhance the character's mobility. This is an interesting device. This device is quite large. You need a spacious shelf in order to house this device. It does take up quite a bit of space, so not sure what that device is for. So it's enigmatic, so perhaps I can research it later. And then we have another character, not sure who she is, maybe Stargirl or some type of heroine or Amazon, but her lore also remains enigmatic from my perspective. She looks akin to Captain America, with the exception of the blonde hair, with the exception of the gender difference. She's female, Captain America is male, so she's more feminine, Captain America is more masculine. And what else? She lacks a belly button. Her bottom torso is being flaunted. Or I guess you can say that her hips and waist are being flaunted to a degree. So she's not marred with blemishes, nor dings, nor dents, nor scuffs, nor scratches. She has articulation in the knee joints and the elbow joints. She can swivel her wrists without her forearms and biceps being rotated, and she also has the ability to ascend and descend her appendages. Her biceps look a bit meek, but she can likely punch real hard. If adversaries feel the brunt of her attack, then they may get clobbered to death, and they may succumb to defeat. So It's nice that she has a utility belt. It's nice that she has these stars that adorn her wardrobe. I love the attire that she's donning. It's quite exquisite, it's quite extravagant, it's quite novel, it's quite unique. Unfortunately, she lacks finger joint articulation, she lacks two fisted hands, she lacks ankle pivots, she lacks a bulky pelvis, she lacks thigh rotation, she lacks shin rotation, she lacks a disc joint in her head. So interesting figure, but could be improved articulation wise. Fortunately, she has sturdy joints. She has two peg holes embedded in the bottom of her feet. This is likely a product churned out by DC Collectibles or DC Direct. I mean, you could look her up and see who churned her out, and you'll likely come to the conclusion that she was manufactured by DC Direct, or at least they contracted with a manufacturer to produce that particular action figure. So I'll strive to find her moniker later, and if I can, then I'll insert her name into the description. We have these miniature 3.75 inches. We have these miniature 3.75 inch action figures of Black Adam and Aquaman. So I don't really want to scrutinize them at the moment. I prefer the 6-inch action figures, or the 7-inch action figures, over the 3.75-inch action figures. These figurines are dwarfed by nearly everyone they come across. They scale with Star Wars action figure collection, but they don't scale with the preponderance of action figures in this box. So I believe this figurine's moniker is Orion, or Orion, who knows. Pelvis is sturdy, the torso is sturdy, the appendages are sturdy for the most part. The right leg is a bit flimsy, so the integrity in the right leg has been a bit compromised. He has a new 52 design, I believe. I'm not well acclimated with that theories, so this figurine's appearance is quite novel and refreshing, since I've never seen it before in person. Now the box is devoid of its contents. It can be relegated to the trash, it can be consigned to the trash. This is a final figure remaining in the box. His helmet cannot be removed, his visor cannot be adjusted. Oh, I revoked my previous statement. It could be ascended and descended. I thought that it was stagnant, I thought that it was static, I thought that it was preposed, but apparently not, so that's quite a novelty. I love when his eyes are obscured. He kind of looks akin to he looks akin to Ant-Man. You can see the creases in his shirt, especially near his hips. Maybe arduous to pinpoint unless you're viewing him in person. What else? I love this black stripe that overlaps his attire. He even has a stripe conspicuous throughout his torso, and he has stripes on the back of his shirt. So his wardrobe has some stripes. His torso is sturdy, it's not hollow, which is always beneficial. He can rotate the biceps, he can rotate the forearms. The biceps and forearms rotate simultaneously with one another. He can rotate his wrists at your discretion. The head can be rotated, it could be ascended or descended. The legs can be positioned backwards, or they could be oriented forwards. He lacks an angle pivot. He can rotate his thighs. The calves can rotate too. The thighs and the calves rotate in tandem with one another, so not bad articulation wise. He has 2 pegals embedded in the bottom of his feet as opposed to 1, so he's likely a newer figure. This figurine is also likely newer, as indicated by the amount of pegals she has. I mean, that's my arbitrary assumption, and that's what I could deduce. I mean, their designs are a bit more robust, they're a bit more refined than the older figurines that only have 1 peggle embedded in the bottom of their foot. So I prefer if my action figures have 2 pegals embedded in the bottom of their feet as opposed to just having only 1 peggle. So, not a bad lot. I procured 8 action figures for under $35. These figurines were churned out by either DC Direct or DC Collectibles, and you can tell that they're not DC Universe Classics action figures because their articulation is more finite, their articulation is more limited, and they don't have the quality of DC Universe Classics action figures, but irrespective of the flaws, they still have tremendous merit. Why do I believe this? Why are they meritorious figurines? If you could obtain them for under $10, I mean, you get your money's worth. They stand roughly 6 to 7 inches tall. They have sturdy joints. They have articulation and ample points. What else? They have robust, exquisite, extraordinary designs. I just think that the DC Universe Classics action figures have more cartoon-esque designs, and they look more unrealistic, and they coincide better with the 6-inch Marvel Legends action figure collection. I just love the sculpts of the DC Universe Classics action figures better. These figurines emulate the appearances of TV show characters or movie characters, or modernized versions of these particular characters that they embody. So maybe some of them have more of a retro look, but I just feel like their designs and their deco and their aesthetics and their attire is supposed to be more modernized with DC Direct or DC Collectibles action figures. However, with the DC Universe Classics action figures, I feel as though they look more cartoonish, and they look like they emerge from the cartoon. I feel as though they have more of a retro look, and I prefer the retro original look over the New 52 look or the latest look. I know that these characters constantly modify their appearances, but for some reason the classic appearances always resonate better with me than the newer appearances. But that's my forte, that's my perspective, those are my sentiments, that's what I believe. But perhaps your feelings about your preferences, and perhaps your preferences are disparate than mine, so I've no right to judge what you love or what you detest. But from my perspective, I prefer the DC Universe Classics action figures, and I could deduce that they have more merit because they have more points of articulation, and I believe that their sculpts and their designs and their aesthetics and their shadings and their textures are superior. That's not to say that these figurines are bad or abysmal or egregious or appalling by any means, but in my opinion, they just don't look as robust and as profound as the DC Universe Classics action figures. So I love the action figures sculpted by the Four Horsemen Studios Corporation, and I look forward to the prospect of buying more action figures sculpted by the Four Horsemen Studios Corporation in the prospective future. So I hope that you found this video to be intriguing and insightful. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.